Great evening, everyone. This is Dr. AJ, the Wifepreneur, changing the way you think, look, and feel about your marriage and sex. I do a lot of unofficial counseling to some friends, even to some family members. And I realize there are a lot of couples that are suffering because of their preconceived or expectations about marriage. They're suffering because there's some type of lack of communication, either lack of finances or lack of sex. And I've been through all that. What they say, I saw the t-shirt, bought the t-shirt, got it, and it's gone. And it became a passion of mine to help those that have been through divorce and know that they can love again. Divorce is a death, let me tell you. That's one of the darkest places in my life. One of the darkest, where I felt I was at rock bottom. About 2009, 2010, I'd been married for 5.5 years. And I noticed some things were happening. It first started off with, being devastated, finding out or being told by my then spouse, which is a great man, that he didn't want kids. And so that was devastating. When we went to counseling before marriage and we talked about it, and now all of a sudden don't want children. Then no intimacy for 8 months. So I knew something was definitely going on. Didn't want to face that then, but I knew something was going on. So I decided, like we having a conversation, I decided to have a conversation with him. And just to know and the truth be exposed that the person they weren't truly in love with you. They weren't ever in love with you. They just thought it was going to come. I was devastated. I was heartbroken. My spirit was broken. And for me, that was one of the worst places in my life, because I was in the area that I come from, the community that I came from. I was somewhat of a public figure. I just had graduated from chiropractic school. I was teaching at the local community colleges in the area, so people knew who I was. And I was a youth minister at my church. And so I did a lot of mentoring, not just to the youth that were directly under me, but some of their parents and other adults in the church and the community. They would often call me, and to know that somewhere in my marriage I failed, and it was hurtful. But you know what brought me out of that devastation, what brought me out of that depression, because I started going into depression. And I faked it. I faked it, y'all. I faked it. Would be at church, hey, how you doing? All this stuff, praise the Lord. Prayed. And then one day, I had 2 friends call me. They did an intervention. They said, something needs to change now. Your spirit is totally broken. We can see it in your eyes. We see it every time we hear it every time we talk to you. You're not there. Something is definitely wrong. And so I got to the point I basically told my mama just to, I told her, she was like, oh, I'm praying for your marriage. The church folk, oh, I'm praying, your husband and I stop coming to church, but I don't want you to tell me what's going on. Just, pray. God's going to work it out. No, I had to take responsibility. At that point, that happened in the same week. I took responsibility, and I knew if he couldn't love me in the space that I needed, Because God, universe, Allah, it's about love. Everybody being loved. Everybody being loved. And I did not feel loved. I felt neglected. No, I was neglected. And so I owned it. I owned my part of the neglection. And I needed to change in order for my life to be better and for me to have the life that I wanted. I knew that, one, I deserved love. First, I had to love me because it brought us some deep rooted stuff about me, some exposed issues about me that I didn't love myself. So how could I expect somebody else to love me? So I took the time and start loving on myself, start finding out what I like, what I didn't like, owning, like somebody said, owning my stuff. That's what I did, start owning it. And I took full responsibility. And so you can, and divorce is hard. Divorce is a death. But you, because I did it, there is love on the other side. But you have to be willing to let it all go. Because I had to let it go. I had to let all the hurt go, all the animosity, all the angriness, and knew that for me to have the best life now, the best life possible, to me express God's love to its fullest potential, that I had to let it go, and that I knew and deserved love, and love would come again. It would come again better than ever before. And I want to let you know, 3 years later, it did. Not only that, the Lord blessed me. I was blessed with 2 lovely children. And you know what's so ironic? The love of my life now, the one I'm married to now, and I give unconditional love to, he was a high school, somebody I dated in high school. Can you believe it? Out of the blue, once I decided to let it go, and I grieved, and you have to grieve. I grieved, but I intentionally said I was going to love myself through it. I loved myself through it, loved myself out of that pain, and I was able to love again. So any one of you that's looking at this video, know that you can love again, that it is a metamorphosis, it's a changing process, it's a death, but you have to grieve, and then you have to own the responsibility of it, and then know that you deserve to love again. I'm glad that I was able to share this personal moment with you, and that you were able to take something from it, to know that you deserve love, because we are connected. I pray for good fortune in everything that you do, and for your good health, that your everyday affairs prospers as well as your soul. You have a wonderful evening.